When you re-edit it, I know you just do in post-production, do the titles first letter capitals.
First letter capitals.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I can do that right
On
now.
YouTube. Right. Headphones.
Should be right here.
What did you write?
That's right here. You can see it
Baz, just run to the toilet. Wash that out for me. So it doesn't smell like plastic. Just put water in it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Who's in charge?
These look miles better on YouTube, by the way. These thumbnails now.
Yeah.
It's funny, you know. I watched a guy. He spent a fortune on going around the country doing clinic tours, and it was something I planned to do. And he does a new episode every week, and I've tracked back all his videos. He's never had more than like 500 to 600 views on YouTube, and you think, God, like, how much that will have cost him?
Right.
Do you mean to go do it? It's so hard, like these things, and that's why I think you've got to realise what are you optimising for?
Right.
After me, Jess.
Who's in charge? Me, staff, or the desktop?
Okay, let me see. Catch it? Alright, cool. Money. That's good.
Who can hear everything? Jen.
She's checking from the crib.
Oh, perfect.
She can hear what? What?
Just like she said, just be mindful of whispers. You can hear everything, but all of the background noise.
We're not live though, are we?
No, we're live.
Where at?
I just turned it so you can see. Can you see it now?
Not yet. We're
Just
live
that
now.
shot.
Are we live? There we go.
Yep. Desk. Cool.
We're live on Instagram.
Yes, please.
Okay, now
All
I'm checking.
right. Are we good? Are we good? Are we good? Are we good? All right.
Oh, that's what we're gonna do.
Just zoom. Bring this closer, I feel, for some reason. Jess, Maria, this camera might need a little clean before we go properly live. Thank you. No. Sorry, I was going to fill it with that. Just give that camera a little, just give that a little clean for me. Alexa, stop. Here we go. I think so. All right, everybody, we're live. This is, we always like to give everybody 30 seconds behind the scenes. I just need my headphones. Just toss them under there for us, please, guys. Thank you. Left and right. All right, well, I'm good.
And then that water plug.
I'm good.
Cool.
All right. Are we good?
Yep. Oh, you know I'm gonna do this. Get these mugs.
What a show today, guys, on Instagram. What a show we've got for you guys on Instagram today. We have some hot topics to discuss. We have some hot topics happening in and around the PT community today, the global PT community. Come on in, say hello, Instagram. Nice to see you. Joy Kassan, nice to see you. Igua, nice to see you. I can just see people starting to join me on Instagram. Type into the chat when you arrive into the showroom. What can we help you with today? Welcome to another episode of Coffee with Goughy. Tech team, are we good?
Yeah,
We're going to get this show rolling and rocking around the world. Good. All right. Push the button on LinkedIn. Push the button on YouTube. We are on Instagram. I can see the Instagram followers. We're on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. We're pretty much everywhere. We are live from Planet Paul HQ here in Orlando. So welcome to another episode of Coffee with Goughy. What a show we've got for you today. If you're just joining us, the format is that I get to, you might just need to tweak that camera a little. I don't think we're in the right zone there. The format of the show is very, very simple. You ask me a question. and I give you a brutally honest answer. No bullshit, no filter, no theory, just stuff that I believe to be true based upon my 20 years of running a business and growing a family around building a business, which I've learned a lot. Multiple businesses, 2 countries, 150 staff, 5 kids, lots of lessons, lots of mistakes, lots of fuck-ups, lots of things that I got wrong and continue to get wrong. And I stand here before you very humbled because of that, and very, very happy to share my lessons. And that's really what my role is today. As Dan Martell likes to say, we are passing the elevator back down and helping you up and get through the levels as fast as you can, because it's pretty painful, pretty brutal running a business on your own. If you're trying to do it on your own, I always say it's the loneliest place on earth if you are trying to run a business on your own. I've got one bit of advice for you. Please don't do it on your own, because you will not succeed. And I mean that. I just couldn't emphatically tell you anything else. If you're trying to build a business on your own, I feel for you. So the show is designed to open up the vault to the knowledge and to the community, and to just bring people together from around the world. And really, I always say this: what's the point of this show? There's lots of podcasts out there today. There's lots of shows, and people kind of doing the 3 tips things and the interviewing founder porn, as you might call it, just kind of their story and all of those things, right? Which is great. But what this is about is turning you into a better version of yourself, both as an individual, as a father, as a husband, maybe as a wife, as a mother, as a business owner, just helping you think and see the world differently and the challenges in it. And that's ultimately, I think, what life is about. How do we just see progress differently? How do we see challenges differently, so that I become a better and ideally the best version of myself, not the kind of stuck, frustrated, irritated version of myself. So that's what the podcast is absolutely all about. A question is coming as well. We might get to this in just a moment. How do you balance being a family man and a successful entrepreneur? I love that question. Igua, have I pronounced your name correctly? Just to make sure, Igua. Park that question there for us, Jason. We'll get back to that one in just a moment. How do you balance being a family man and a successful entrepreneur? Wow, that in and of itself is a conversation starter today. So we're definitely going to come to that, Igua. You might just need to hold on a little. So the format of the show, like I said, you ask me questions, I give you answers. And Instagram is the place where we take the questions from. So everything comes in from Instagram. So follow me at the Paul Gough and DM me the questions ahead of time. And my team, they take the question, and then we answer it on the show, basically. Obviously, we pick the best questions that we think will impact the listenership, which is growing into the thousands and thousands. What did we have? 4,800 downloads last week for this show. So we're averaging around about 20,000 downloads a month for this show, which is... to say epic is pretty cool. So thank you for everybody who's listening now to Coffee with Goughy and the Paul Gough Show. So I'm going to start with this. You are asking me a question, which is who's in charge, me, my staff, or the desk dog, right? I suspect this business has got a front desk dog that is running wild somewhere within it, and everybody's getting attention except the profits of the business. So we're going to come to that in just a moment, but I have a few things to share. First of all, what do you think of the new hoodie? Do I suit red?
Yeah, I love it.
My kids love the new red hoodie. The swag bag is improving every day. You guys on Instagram and YouTube and LinkedIn can see it. We are now evolving the Coffee with Goughy swag range. The hoodie range is now red. I thought it would be appropriate, given that love is in the air this week with Valentine's Day on the horizon. So I just thought I'd wear my red hoodie today and just share the love. I thought that would be pretty cool. And speaking of love, right? This is where I might need a few of the team's opinions. So can we? Where is? Who's free? Jess, Maria, anybody free? Just grab anybody in the office. Just brings. This is really impromptu. It's like how I like to do things in this business. I make shit up as we go along and then pretend it's all organized and structured. Right. So love is in the air this week, and I'm not going to ask. Are you all kind of what you're doing for Valentine's and all that shit? I just thought on the topic of love and just harmony in the world, I think the most important question that we need to ask as a team: Bad Bunny, yes or no?
Yes.
Jason, Bad Bunny, yes or no?
Yeah, I mean, they say I look like him a little bit, so I'll take it.
I mean, I see it. So, thoughts on Bad Bunny at the Super Bowl?
I think he was very appropriate.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think his music was good.
Spoken like a true Puerto Rican. Come on, Jess.
Made me want to party, man.
Made you want to party. Did it really?
Yeah.
Wow. Come on. Come on,
Yeah,
from a Native American. Come on.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
we've moved from South America. Yeah, we've moved from native South America to America. Come on.
Yeah, I think his goal was to get people to dance, so I think he did a pretty good job doing that.
Well, not in the stadium. He fucking didn't.
Oh, yeah.
Those 3 people I seen on Instagram, yeah, dancing away. The 50-year-old guy in the stadium wasn't doing any. wasn't
They
doing any.
wanted to dance. They were just embarrassed.
That's it. Well, so yes or no for the Super Bowl?
Yes,
Top
yes. I
top
think-
5.
I mean, it was the most watched Super Bowl of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Number 1.
So it was
Nobody-
clever marketing. The marketing
they beat
strategy.
Michael Jackson. They beat everybody. I mean,
Yeah.
it did number 1.
I mean, there is 26,000 more ways to watch TV these days. So let's give
Oh,
Michael
you're
Jackson
right,
a little bit of
yeah,
credit.
let's give him
That back in the day, Jason, this is before your time. It was called a station, right? There was a TV station. I remember the conversation with my kids. True story, right? This will test you. What are you all? Millennials, Gen Zs?
Gen Z.
What are you? Right? I don't even know what all that shit is, right? But I remember one of my kids genuinely asked me, "Dad, what did you used to watch when you were a kid?" And I said, "Son, we had 4 TV stations." And he looked at me and he said, "No, what did you watch?" I said, "We had Channel 1. This is true, in England, we had Channel 1, Channel 2, Channel 3, and Channel 4. He said, no, what did you used to watch? I said, son, Channel 1, Channel 2, Channel 3. I said, when I was 15 I was, 1996, Channel 5 came out. Channel 5 came out in Britain. And at this point, we had 5 TV stations, right? And The Simpsons actually came on Channel 5, and it was the coolest thing ever. And he could not get his head around. And he was like, Dad, no, but like, what about like YouTube and Nickelodeon and like, what about this like other channel? I was like, son, we had 5 TV stations as a kid. And he's like, could you watch it like whenever you want? And I was like, no, you had to be in the house at like 3:30 to watch whatever it was. You had to be there to watch. You couldn't fast forward. You couldn't rewind. You couldn't record. Like even you guys are looking at me in like I'm only 44 by the way, but this was real life. So back to Michael Jackson. To be fair to the guy, you know, he did all right in a period of time where there was MTV and you know maybe there's a few stations that you could watch it. There was no streaming in like you know Spain or wherever it was that they've hit in the last however many weeks, but how many days. But commercially, I think it was a fantastic idea.
It was very international.
Yeah, it was cool the way that they did it, and I think genuinely at first when I heard about it, I don't know the guy and I've no real kind of you know why would I, right? I'm in my 40s, so it's not he ain't my demographic or I'm not his, I would imagine, right? So when I heard about it, I thought, okay, here we go. Let's just see how long this political bullshit takes for this to kind of come to the fore here, right? And as usual, we can't even have a singer arrive at a football show without some kind of you know political argument fight. It shows us where we've got to in the world. But from an absolute neutral point of view, when I first watched it, I thought, yeah, I don't know, right? But I had a little bit of a negative kind of possible bias towards it for whatever reason, not politically, but just not my thing, right? Now, if that had been, I don't know, some 80s singer or 90s singer, I'd have thought this is cool, right? But in all honesty, the more I watched it, I thought, I get it. And then as I reflected on it the next day, I didn't think there was a single political thing that anybody could genuinely be insulted by. I think if you carried your biases towards it, you would have found it. But I think genuinely the guy had a right good go. I think he resisted. I've obviously seen other things that he said, and I don't agree with some of it, and that's absolutely fine. But I think he resisted any attempt to turn it into anything other than just let me entertain you, find a little bit of kind of meaning in it with whatever you want. Obviously, it did affect a lot of us that we didn't speak Spanish, right? And it's very difficult to dance and sing along to a song that you don't really understand the words. But here's what I'm going to say, and this is the lesson for the podcast. I've spoke repeatedly about how I will go to an event and I don't really necessarily always love the person singing or speaking or whoever, but I try to find the magic in whatever it is that they do. And the fact that I was watching the Super Bowl was testament to that I don't understand the Super Bowl, but I am an appreciation of the scope and the size and the spectacle and the entertainment factor of it. And what can I learn as a result of the size of this thing? And when I see Bad Bunny come on, I don't understand him. I don't get him. I suspect I don't lean towards many of his values and things that he talks about, but I don't need to. But I'm in a different phase of my life. But can I see a superstar? Yes. Can you see somebody that's influencing people globally, whether I agree with that influence or not? Yes. Is therefore there a lesson to be learned? Yes. And then is there in all of that some kind of appreciation for the success that he's having? And if I refuse to appreciate the success that somebody's having, then it's going to be almost impossible for me to ever be successful. I have to always try and find something in somebody who is successful and blatantly successful and acknowledge their success. So I think on the whole, I probably swung from a what the F to I get it. And as I said to you yesterday, I don't think I'd go to a Bad Bunny concert as a fan. I would go to a Bad Bunny concert to see what I could learn. Anybody that has that level of influence over people, I'd like to know how he does it. And I'll certainly track the story. And I saw a picture of him on some kind of, was it Target fucking checkout desk 10 years ago? What the fuck? Like the dude was working in Target 10 years ago, right? If that doesn't warrant some kind of investigation, and I always say this, the only way that you will have a terrific life is if you can look at something or somebody that you might not agree with and try and find a reason to like them, right? And politically, if you like Trump and you hate every single thing that Joe Biden or Kamala Harris did, you will have a bad life, right? And if you hate if you hate Kamala Harris and Biden to the point where you couldn't find a single thing that they've done good, you'd have a really bad life. Like you almost have to train yourself to find something good in a story that you might not agree with. And if you can do that, I promise you, those are the people with the best lives, bar none. I suspect there is a great story, and I'd love to know what the turning point was for him. How do you go from Target in 2016 all the way through COVID, remember, to that today in less than a decade? That's 10 years from absolute kind of, probably treated like crap in Target by people who didn't appreciate what he was doing, to 10 years later smashing the Super Bowl. That is like, that story alone is worth tracking back and figuring out. So I think it was cool. I wish I understood what he said, but I do appreciate some of the entertainment spectacle of it. And if he comes to Orlando, let me know. We might get some staff tickets and we'll all go. We'll see. So anyway, that's my view. Take it as you want and leave it. But I just always think everywhere you look, try and find the reasons for it to be good, and what when somebody is that good and has that much influence, and the fact that he divided that many people, the story's worth checking out. Now you can have your opinion on should he be there and should he not be there, whatever, right? Who gives a shit? Just go learn the lessons from his success, and how do you get that level of influence and that level of success? And that's where I think the best and most successful people live. Don't get angry. Do whatever you want, but when you get angry at things like that, what sort of a life have you got? That's my thoughts. Anyway, right. What else is happening in the Planet Paul ecosystem right now? I wanted to tell you about. I'm off to Liverpool in 2 weeks. I'm back to England for an event at Anfield. We're hosting our UK Mastermind event at Anfield in England, February 26th and 27th. If you'd like to come get in touch very quickly, send a DM. We do a lot of communication with our audience these days in the DMs of Instagram. So, like I said, at the Paul Gough, send a quick message. If you are a UK or Irish, European-based physio clinic, sports injury clinic owner, we're heading to Liverpool at the end of February. Get in touch for details to find out if you are suitable for being at that event. It's tough. It's lonely running a business in the UK against the free NHS. Don't do it on your own. I've got 40 clinic owners who are willing to help you. I will be there with you to support you and help you. This weekend coming up, for those of you who are interested in AI, I'm doing my first ever live global AI first clinic training. If you're missing leads, you're missing phone calls, you can't get your marketing content out there, you're just looking for more operational savviness, you're looking to save money as you grow on payroll, and the obvious one is if you're even interested in remotely considering hiring somebody right now on a $50,000 a year salary, stop what you're doing. Stop the bus, literally. Stop the car, because any hiring that you make now, here's what I'm going to say. Any hiring that you make now without considering AI first, what are you doing? What are you doing? Seriously, what are we still in the kind of pager and bleeper kind of age here as clinic owners? If you've got a job ad up right now for anything that smells like a marketing assistant, anything that smells like a front desk guy or girl, or a lead follow-up SDR, and you're not considering AI, I'm begging you to consider AI as an option to save you a hell of a lot of money, a hell of a lot of hassle on training and time and all of the things that go with it. Guys, we're past the point of AI being an absolute prerequisite in our business, not some luxury. It's already here. So this weekend, Saturday, 14th and 15th of February, I'm running a training at 3 o'clock. Again, I'm not giving you the link. Just get in touch on the DMs and we will send you a link for you to register. All communication. My staff are there to help you get in touch. And then after that, we're rolling on to LA, Los Angeles, May 1st, 2nd and 3rd. The global community gets together for the first ever Cash Pay Summit and the inaugural Cashies that is taking place in Los Angeles. If you want to come and work with us and be with us and just be around this amazing community that we've built over a decade now, please get in touch. It's funny, Bad Bunny started in 2016, so did the Planet Paul Mastermind community. Bad Bunny is probably doing a little bit better than I am right now, but I am still very pleased of the progress that I've made from a guy that massaged people for a living just 10 years ago. Anything is possible in a decade, and I always say this. So same for you. If you're just at the start of your journey, most people underestimate what they can achieve in a year, or overestimate what they can achieve in a year, and underestimate what they can achieve in a decade. It all has to start somewhere. It might start in Liverpool. It might start with me this weekend on the AI First training, or it might start in Los Angeles at the Cashies. You let me know. Get in touch at the DMs. Right, that's the public service announcement for the Planet Paul community. What we got? Let's get into it, Jason. Over to you.
All right. We got Virginia here, Stacy here, and she says,
We're up in Virginia.
Virginia.
Yeah. Dare I ask if it's a red or a blue state?
I believe it's a red state.
Okay. And I ask, right, guys? And I ask, not because I've any political affiliation. I'm as anti-politics as you could probably get. I'm as close to, I am, it's irrelevant in my life, and I've made this quite clear from day one. I have no real interest in any political party other than the one that makes sense for a small business owner, because I wholeheartedly believe that small business ownership is the absolute fundamentally most important thing in society. Without good jobs, you don't have a solid society. You have crime and you have all sorts of... So any business that is more like this, or any political party that's more likely to support small businesses, I might give a little nod to. Wouldn't stand in line for them, but I might give a little nod to. But the reason I ask is because I've done this for so long now, and it would be remiss of me to tell you that there isn't a significantly more likelihood of staff issues in certain states than in others. Now, take this however you want, and that's up to you to decide what you feel and how you feel about that. But in certain states, I see more shit and hassle from staff who are more, what's the word? Feel like they have to push their opinions on the business owner to agree to a certain way of performing and living and behaving than in other states. Let's just leave it at that. And I think if a business owner doesn't understand this, that there are political motivations from their staff and there are political biases from their staff, which in the end get in the way of running successful companies and businesses, if the business owner doesn't recognize it and isn't strong enough, then I think you're constantly fighting a losing battle. And I have it on good authority from working with many, many business owners in Virginia that it is a state that might lean towards a little bit of this should be a democracy inside of the business, rather than this is a fucking business that we have to run, and it has goals, it has aims, it's got pains, and we're not here to serve a political agenda that tries to keep everybody happy. And again, I'm saying this, guys, and many of you are new to me. I'm 44 now. I've run a business for 20 years. There's nothing that I'm going to hold back from you on this podcast. Nothing. At risk of somebody not liking my not being politically motivated, which is probably the stupid fucking world that we're in, that you would even have a problem with the guy who's not politically motivated or kind of riled up either way, and that might dare to share a challenge that business owners have that is called politically motivated staff inside of your business who believe that they should be allowed to do what they want and when they want, including bring dogs to fucking work on a Tuesday and a Friday, right? This is where I'm going with it, because I can already see what this challenge really is. So we're in Virginia and we have a problem with who's in charge.
Yeah, so Stacey says, I don't know who's in control anymore, me, my staff, or the front desk dog. How do I get control of my clinic?
Again, I say it. I get control of the clinic when I understand all of the forces that are going on around me. And Stacey?
Yep.
Stacey gets control of this business when she realizes that she is the boss, and the boss requires her not to be liked, to be respected. Her job is not to be friends with everybody. Her job is not to have political affiliations with everybody inside of the company. Her job is not to walk through the doors and high-five everybody and allow ping pong to take place on a Tuesday and taco fucking Tuesdays to happen and bring your dog to work today and have the breakfast bar lined up with all of the cereals and the coffees for all of the staff to have a nice time at work. That's the shit that we watch in Hollywood that we can all thank Google and Facebook for making it very, very difficult for small business owners to run. But equally, it also raises the point that many small business owners, and again, I'm sorry to say this, I'm very, very sorry to say this, are very weak when it comes to management of people and standards. You have to be tough on the standards. You can be kind and be nice to the people, but we cannot allow the inmates to run the asylum. We cannot allow any consensus opinion on the standards inside of your business. Zero, none, nada, zip, none. And that's what I see more and more of, is business owners who didn't want to be business owners. They're very good clinicians who started life as clinicians, who got some help from people who promised to help them. And all of a sudden, 2 or 3 years later, because we're still in that mode of being grateful for people who want to help us, right? Because it comes at a surprise, because all we wanted to do was survive as business owners. We get these 3 or 4 people that want to help us. And what we do is we invite them to have an opinion on everything inside of the business. And what do you think of that marketing campaign? Oh, it's not quite politically correct enough. We're not allowed to say things like that anymore in Virginia. Ooh, doesn't that alienate somebody? Yes, that's what it's fucking designed to do. Marketing has been designed from day one to polarize, to alienate people, to tell them who we help and to clearly tell them who we don't fucking help. Not to have a laundry list of 26 exceptions who might take offense to the marketing message that we help people or ladies age 53 recover from back pain without visiting the doctor, without injections and without surgery. We don't have a consensus of opinion on whether or not that's what the marketing message is about. We tell the staff that that's who we help, and if they don't like it, they can go and work for somebody else who will make exceptions. But that's not what we do here, because it violates the most basic of rule in business. And in marketing, I can't grow a business unless I have a very strong polarizing message. If you don't have a real and honest ambition to grow a practice, if you believe that clinical skills are more important than business skills, then don't come and listen to my podcast. Don't come anywhere near my business. Don't come anywhere near my events. Don't come anywhere near my seminars, because I can't help you. Somebody else can help you, but I can't. So I'm very polarizing about who I want in my world, who I want as a client. Here's another one. I've literally come off a sales call today, a sales training call with my team. Somebody said on my staff, I've got a person on the call who's not quite sure whether they should come to Liverpool, I think it was. I said, ask him this question. Do you believe that you would be more successful on your own or working with Paul and a group of 40 clinic owners? And if the answer is that this guy believes that he's more successful on his own, he's not my client. He is out. Because fundamentally, I need people who want to who believe at their soul, at their heart level, that it's easier to be successful by being around other successful business owners. I can't change that view. So if they don't want to be around other successful business, go do it on your own. So we're polarizing. I'm not here for everybody, right? I'm very clear on who we help and who we don't when it comes to the marketing and the sales message. And in my physio business, I helped a lady in her 50s who had not a great deal of pain, but somebody who was in just enough pain, discomfort and stiffness that it got in the way of her enjoying life. She didn't want to go to the doctors. She didn't want to have injections. She didn't want pills. And yes, it was a she. It was a female. My absolute A1 client that my clinic was set up for was a female in her 50s. And I was purposeful about that. I knew that she was the decision maker. She was the influencer. She could bring me the husband and she could bring me the grandkids. And she would sit in a coffee shop with 6 other ladies all discussing their ailments. I went after the quarterback, the kingpin, the don, the mafia boss of the family, because she made the decisions. Everything outside of that, my business was not for, and I wasn't interested in any political conversation, in any PC conversation about it. That's who I was for. There was another clinic in town for another group. There was another clinic in town for another type of person. There was another clinic in town for a male. That wasn't for me. And I made it very, very clear from day one that that's what I wanted to do. And I made it from the get-go that the only way that this business would exist and would endure, which it does 20 years later, by the way, 20 years later, you can still make a phone call to my clinic. 20 years later, it endures because I made it very clear who we served and how we helped them. And everybody else, if you want to come and see me, then that's great. But the marketing message was pure. And it was about and for a certain group of people. And I'm going to put it to everybody listening to me on Instagram, on Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever you are. You violate that fundamental rule in your business, and I know you're struggling. Because what happens then is the staff get involved. The staff becomes a consensus now. We don't think that marketing message is right, Paul. And we think it alienates this group of people, Paul. And we think you might be a bit politically offensive, Paul. And we think Paul, and we think Paul, and Paul goes home on a night and he goes, holy shit. Paul just spent $3,000 on a program from a very smart marketer to teach him how to grow a business. And Paul has really good intentions about how to grow his business with a strong marketing message to grow a business in the way that businesses are grown. And then all of a sudden he comes in the next day to 3 members of staff and a fucking dog, right, that sits, and I've got nothing against dogs, by the way, but you just can't be around my table when I'm making decisions. All of a sudden I go home and I go, shit, I was on the right tracks there. 24 hours ago, I thought I knew what my business was for and who it was for. Now I'm confused. Now I've got Sally's opinion, Dave's opinion, Sarah's opinion, the dog Lassie's opinion. I've got everybody's opinion in this whole thing. Now I'm confused. And my staff now start a little bit of a revolt. And they tell me that they're not happy to work in a clinic that talks to a 53-year-old lady with back pain. That's not how it should be. That's not what they're seeing on TikTok. That's not what they're seeing across the internet anymore. We have to be for everybody, and it has to be inclusive, and it has to be all of this other stuff. And by the way, good luck trying to build a business like that. If you've got millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars that somebody else has given you, you go try and build a business like that. We will be fair and respectful to every single individual that walks through this door. That has never changed. But when it comes to how I grow a business, I have to be very clear on who it's for. And the minute I give up on that, I've given up on business growth. But what I've also done, I've invited the door to be open for everybody in my team to have an opinion on everything. And I guess what's happening now, I don't even know the lady, Stacey, right? But I know what starts with a marketing message pushback when AI comes around. Hey guys, I'm thinking about implementing an AI to make our lives easier and to allow us to grow the business and provide a better service. 3 members of staff over my dead body. We need a discussion about this. Where is the team meeting? Little private Slack messages going on between Dave and John, who don't agree with AI, who are now starting to form a little coalition inside of the business. Let's see if we can get Sarah to disagree with AI. Let's see if we can get Sally over here to disagree with AI as well. And then we'll all run to the business owner and we'll all tell Paul that we don't agree with AI. And what started with 1 member of staff who didn't like the idea because they have some political view of AI and think it might end the fucking world as a result of it, all of a sudden I've got 4 or 5 people against me. But the business owner allowed this to happen, is what I'm getting at. Small cuts lead to bleeding necks. Small cracks lead to big broken windows. And this is the sign of a weak business owner. And I'm sorry to say it, but this is what's going on inside of business owners' heads all day, every day. And I guarantee you it's a consensus that was allowed to happen probably 2 or 3 years ago where this individual was frightened about losing people. What might the staff say if Sally quits? What might the staff say if Dave, the physio, isn't there anymore to be the superstar that he says he is? Well, I tell you what happens. This was what happens. You start asking yourself every night, who's in charge? You, the staff, or the fucking dog? That's what starts to go on inside of businesses, and that is what's going on inside of businesses. And every time great opportunities come along, 7 people in your team have to have an opinion on it. 7 people jump on a Zoom call with a company that you might work with, like a pack of hyenas trying to jump down their throat and having opinions on some new initiative that you know is a good idea. The marketing agency gets it. The AI company gets it. The event that you're going to, everybody has to have an opinion on why you're going and they're not going and everything else that goes on with it. And you go home on a night and you're like, holy shit, I'm sure I'm supposed to be in charge of this business. The message, grow a set, right? Seriously, grow a set and start there. Start realizing that you're the boss and there is no other way for you to grow a business than for you to be in charge. Now, if the dog happens to come to work on a Friday, then that's absolutely fine, as long as the business is growing and making money and is commercially independent and doing well. If I've got a business that's a shit show and a drama and politically motivated, and I don't mean politics in terms of Trump or Biden or whatever, what I mean is politically motivated. Politics is inside of every business that's absence of clearly defined outcomes. The definition of politics is an absence of clearly defined outcomes. You show me a struggling business, I will show you an absence of clearly defined outcomes. Now it results to what? What does it become about? But I'm working hard. You don't realize, Paul, how hard I work. You don't see the effort I put in. I'm like, I know, because the fucking results are missing. That's why there must be a gap here. Because I'm sure this business was about outcomes. Did we get 50 leads? Did we book 20 clients? Did we follow up on our leads and did we get 5 of them to book? Did we get a plan of care completed at 10? I could have sworn that these were called outcomes, guys, not the effort and the hard work that I put in. And that's what, in the end, is happening inside of clinics. Everything is based upon how hard I work, and it's all subjective. Nobody has a clearly defined measurement for it. And so fighting and drama and, one-upmanship and all of these things go on inside of a business, and all of a sudden a business owner is sitting every night and going, holy shit, when did this turn into this? Like it's an episode of some political drama on Netflix inside of most businesses, right? Everybody jockeying for position, everybody telling each other how valuable they are. Every single one of these staff will be telling the business owner how valuable they are and that they can't live without them. Heard it all before. And by the way, any member of staff that tells you how valuable they are and that you can't live without them and that they've rescued you again, they are the first people that should be gone from your business yesterday. They're the toxic ones. Always and forever in a day. Those are the people that cause you the problems. So, I think that's the problem. Grow a set, reminding yourself every day. I come in to this to work every day. I would, and I use this. I've told my staff for 20 years. I would rather burn my business down than not be in charge of it. What is the point? I would feel insecure, weak. I couldn't live with myself. Like that's not why I started a business, right? I exposed a business. I started the business to find out who I am. Like, will I tackle problems head on? Will I deal with shit? Can I take the criticism? Will I have the argument in front of 15 people, even though I could have 7 people? That's why I started the business. There is no other way to grow a business. Like, lead. Like, that's the point. You will take the criticism. You'll take the flack. There'll be silent WhatsApp groups going on behind your back. Like, I've got a fucking WhatsApp group of ex-employees. They'll probably have to upgrade their plan to fit them all in these days, right? That'll slag me off. That'll criticize me. That'll have their opinion on every one of my posts. Everything I do, everywhere I go, there'll be an opinion of me. That's the job I signed up for. But I go home on a night feeling good about myself. Not always getting it right, by the way, but feeling good about myself because at least I'm playing true to my character and who I am, that I won't shy away from growing a business and doing what's required to grow the business. So there we go.
Want to answer the Instagram question?
Yeah, let's go. Let's go to Instagram.
So he says, how do you balance being a family man and a business owner?
Well, you don't balance it. That's the first thing. The key word is counterbalance. So what everybody has to understand is there is no such thing as balance, right? In fact, I'm going to give it to you large right now. Every one of you write this down, except if you're driving. We should trademark that line. Write it down, except if you're driving. Balance is bullshit. Balance is this thing that every one around you who is an employee and judges their life around how much time they spent doing something as to whether or not it was a success. So what that means is somebody who's playing at a lower level of life assumes that time spent, as in allocated, means that they've got balance. So I took a week off. I took 7 days off with my child. And that meant that I'm doing well because I took 7 days off. Look, Paul took 7 days off with his kid. But what there was never conversation about was the fact that Paul went on holiday and didn't even see his kid because he spent more time on Facebook, checking emails, thinking about the business and so on and so forth. So I could be there with you in my kids, but if I'm not there mentally, then what was the point of me being there? Now, inside of a business, the force is that everybody around you is likely to be an employee. So again, take this the right way. Your parents are likely to be employees. If you've had employees, parents who weren't employees, you probably don't have a big issue with the work-life balance thing because you'll have understood it. You'll have accepted it. If your parents ran a business, you will have accepted. You'll understood and you'll be comfortable with it. You wouldn't be living with what the gentleman here probably is guilt, basically, which is what we're getting at. The guilt of not being with somebody, right? I'm spending too much time in my business. Or sometimes not enough time in the business and too much time with family, right? Rarely happens that somebody feels guilty in business for that, but it can be true. So the first thing I want this person to understand is there is no such thing as balance. It's absolute bullshit. You are always out of balance. What there is a conscious awareness of when you've gone too far out of sync and you're about to fall over. I've been at work till 10 o'clock every night for the last 6 months. I'm probably out of balance, right? But equally, I've had 3 weeks off and I've not really done much in the office, and I've gone home and watched my son play tennis or basketball every night, and I've had every weekend off and I've done nothing in the business except spend time with the kids. I might be out of balance from the work point of view. So I've got to pull myself back constantly. But what I need to remember and remind myself of is this. I come into the office every day and I have a set of tasks that I need to achieve that allow me to do and create and build something that is bigger than I've got today. My responsibility is absolutely to the family, but there comes an acknowledgement that is required that in order for my family to have an opportunity of a terrific life and for us to go places and not to have to worry about credit card debt and to consider better options and choices and, schools or healthcare or cars or hotels, standards of living, ways of getting to play. If I want all of that in my life and those freedoms, well, what pays for that? The fucking business, right? The business is the vehicle to my terrific life. Whichever way we dress this up, the life that we live today as a family is paid for by my business, right? And that's paid, that's built because of my business skills and my commitment and my investment in it. I've earned the right to live the life that I live today. I said it, I'm 20 years in. I've earned the right to the house, to the cars, to the lifestyle, which I have no hesitation in even talking about it. Every single thing, every brick, every pool, every tile, every flight, every car, everything is earned. Everything is bought and paid for. So along the journey, I had to understand that, yes, I've got children and more children coming along, but equally I have an obligation to the business. And I needed a conversation internally between me and Natalie as I was growing that business that acknowledged that there will be times and days and weeks where I'm all in on the business, but I absolutely promise you there'll be times and days and weeks when I'm equally as all in on the family. And when you've got me, you've got me. And I'm present. And I'm home at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock most of the times because I've figured out how to execute. And I'm not here needlessly till 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night. And what you find is what most people are doing. They're not focused on the things that will actually move the needle. They're doing the same things over and over and over and over again, telling themselves that when I get this thing done, then I'll be able to get home. And the reality is they don't. They need to start making bigger decisions. So here's now your answer as we're getting to. How do you balance being an entrepreneur? And how do you grow a family? Are you ready? Build a fucking team. Build a team, right? Build a team. How do I get more things done so I can get home at 5 o'clock at night? Build a team. Am I the first one in, Jason, on a morning?
No.
Nope. Why?
Because you build a team.
Yep. But what do I do instead? Where am I at?
You're taking your kids to school.
I take my kids to school. I take my kids to school most mornings. I love to do that. Right now, did I do that always in the start? Probably not. Right? Because I'm the physio, I'm answering the phone. So if I'm the physio and I'm answering the phone in my solo career, 18, 20 years ago as a physio, I started my own practice. The ego tells me I'm 12 hours a day and this is good and Paul's working hard for us. But the reality is Paul just failed to hire. Paul failed to take a risk. Paul failed to become a real entrepreneur, not just a startup entrepreneur, a real entrepreneur, and actually grow a team. And grow a team so that he can start at 9:30, and tonight I need to leave at 5:20 because I want to go watch Grayson play tennis. Now, lots of the employees will still be here tonight at 6, 6:30, 7 o'clock, whatever time they finish. I don't know, right? It's not for me to know. Somebody else knows all of that. But I earned the way there, but I started to make big decisions. I understood that the business was important, and I also understood that my family was important. I banished the bad guilt of being at work on a weekend when I had to be, because I had to be. I did have to be there, and I said this on a recent podcast. Any of you struggling with work-life balance, you need to have a conversation with yourself and your wife or your husbands that simply goes like this. If you want a terrific life, and you want the freedoms, how do you expect me to build it in the same period of time as an employee who works 9 to 5? How? How do you expect, right? How do you expect me to build the quality of life that you want from me? Because you will ask me for a bigger house. You will ask me for a new car. You will ask me for schools. You'll ask me for health insurance. You'll want to go on vacation. And if you're not, I'd worry that I was with somebody that doesn't ask for an improvement, not in a way that we absolutely have to have it, but in a way that says that recognizes that we want more for ourselves. We do want to travel the world, and we do want space and freedom, or we want an apartment in an expensive part of town where we've got good quality of restaurants and bars and restaurants and shows and theaters. We don't want to settle, is what I'm saying. Why would we want to settle anywhere in life? So we have to grow, right? The most miserable people that you'll fucking ever meet in life, by the way, have settled. They've all got their nice fucking houses. They've all got their one perfect car, they've all settled. They this is what we want. And then they get there and they're like, oh, this is it. This is amazing for the next 50 years. And now they're realizing that it doesn't happen. So there should always be an aspiration to grow, to want a new experience, to consider what life might be like in a different part of town or a different country, a second home, to have better cars, bigger cars, more spacious cars, a better school for our kids, better health insurance so we don't have to worry about what doctor we have to choose. How is anybody waking up not thinking, how do I improve the quality of my life? I'm like absolutely lost at anybody that wakes up on a day and goes, this is it. But that's the reason that they're unhappy. Because somebody told them when they get to 35 and they get a nice house in the suburbs and they get a nice Dodge and a second car and they've got 3 dogs and they've got nice clothes and they've got an okay health insurance and they've got an okay 401. I had a conversation with somebody recently in his early 40s telling me about his 401 and he's moving his money and he's doing this. I'm like, dude, fucking enjoy your life. But I've cut back on this and I'm this. Enjoy your life. Why don't we figure out, instead of downgrading your apartment to pay for your 401, how do we make more fucking money? Because it's easier to make fucking 10 grand than save 10 grand. My 10-year-old understands this. It's easier to make $10,000 than to fucking save $10,000. But that's the mindset that we've all been indoctrinated in since the get-go. It is about growth. It's always about more options and choices. The people with the best lives have the most choices. If I can only afford one type of apartment, I don't have a good quality of life. I don't have choices. If I don't have choices in the end, that's what pisses me off. And that's the frustration that most people feel, that they are limited in what they can get and what they can go. And they'll all turn around to me and say, oh, but that's okay for you, Paul. That's fine for you. And it's like, well, I didn't have the fucking choices 20 years ago. I had an ambition, an honest ambition to go and grow a business. And I realised very early that being a physio had a ceiling. It had a cap on how much money I could make. But I wasn't prepared for settling on what that quality of life would look like. I accepted that that was the first step I'd made after college and it was an okay start, but it was never going to be what I wanted. My ambition was too big and I wanted to go and scratch that. Now, that came with a little bit of balancing conversations at home and family and life and friends and all of these things. And I had to every single day. But equally, I needed to be as bullish with my staff as I am today, as I was back then, which was, this is the quality of life I want. Natalie, do you want to come? We're going to go on a journey together. This is the quality of life that I want, because I can see a world and I can see a lifestyle that most others can't. The only thing that gets in the way is this thing called fucking money, right? And the only thing that gets in the way of that is me upskilling. And the only thing that gets in the way of that is me applying those skills to this thing called a business. Because I've looked around the world in my 20s and I'm realizing I don't want to be a doctor because there's a ceiling. I definitely don't want to be a fucking lawyer because they all have heart attacks and it's not worth the money. And I don't want to be a politician, and I don't want to even be a physio, I don't think, at this point. But there's this thing called business ownership, which to me, if I crack it, has an unlimited upside. So maybe if Paul just goes and puts a little bit of extra effort into business ownership and gives up a few Sundays and a few extra evenings and starts a bit earlier and, maybe misses a few little moments with Harry when he's first born in pursuit of a terrific life, we might just get it. I said on a post today, everybody who missed me 10 years ago when I started going to conferences and flying to America or going to London or wherever I was at, every single person who missed me 10 years ago thanks me today. Well, they might not physically thank me or actually thank me, but I know they do, right? Let's just put it that way. Everybody who missed me back then thanks me today. So all that was in the way was my absolute dogged determination to be successful was never in doubt. My ability to execute and then ultimately have a conversation with the people that mattered around me to say, this is probably how it's going to be. But you mark my words, when I'm at work, I'm executing. When I'm on these courses, I'm learning, right? Our future life and our future lifestyle depends upon it. So now I've got no bad guilt about being at work. I've got good guilt that, yes, I would rather be with Harry on a Saturday morning at everything I can, or Grayson or Tobias or Xander or Sil. I'd rather be with them all, and Natalie. I'd rather be with every one of them. But something inside me has to kick in and go, not if you want the life that you want. Not if you want to become who you want to become. Not if you want to show your kids how to go and achieve dreams. Because this is the fucking thing that pisses me off. And I do get riled up with these things. The thing that riles me is when you see people saying what to do. Right? You've got all these fake fucking influencers who look fantastic. All worried about how they look. All their makeup on and their fucking, how do all influencers start? So guys, you've been asking me these questions and, sat there with the perfect fucking look, the perfect makeup, the perfect position in the house that they've been fucking working on for 2 hours to get ready to answer the questions that fucking were irrelevant, right? What we've got in society right now is people indoctrinated in that type of thinking. And what we need is people indoctrinated in how the world really works and how things do get created and how it is built, right? Not the fake bullshit that you're seeing that people are telling. If I want to go and be successful, there absolutely has to be a conversation that says there's going to come with a little bit of commitment here and there's going to come a little bit of sacrifice. Not this perfect, just dress up, and this is where I'm going with it, and put your makeup on and fucking open up a video on Facebook, right? Or whatever it is that they're all telling you to do. It comes with sacrifice. It isn't about somebody telling you what to do that these influencers are doing. Most of them are broken. Most of them are fucking absolutely rotten behind the scenes. Take it as a given. I've had business coaches and I've seen influencers up close at hand who what they tell you to do is completely different from how they live and what their relationships are like behind the scenes. What we've got to face up to is ultimately, in my case, for my kids, I ain't going to sit there with my kids and go to Harry, you should go and live your dreams. Harry, go and live your dreams. I can support you, Harry, if you want me to, and I will. Or I can show you, Harry. What do you want from me? Do you want me to support you? Or do you want me to support and show you? Because the best way that I can support and show you, as far as I can see, for all of my kids and for anybody who wants to even remotely watch me or study me or learn from me or get in the tailwind of me or whatever it is, the jet stream, the fucking, what's the stream behind the car? The jet stream, the whatever it is, right? Mm. Anybody that wants to get behind my tailwind, feel free to do it. Because I'll show you how to do it. I won't just tell you how to do it. And when you come and hang around with me at my events, at my seminars, you see my kids, you see Natalie, you see my staff, I'm an open book. You can talk to them, you can ask them. Nothing's off limits. There's nothing I'll hide from you. There's nothing I'll conceal. There's nothing you can catch me out on as to how I live. And everything that I'm telling you is how I live. And that's the life that I have lived for a long, 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 long time now. That I am more interested in showing my kids how to go achieve their dreams by, guess what? Achieving mine. And I'm unfortunately going to say to every fucking person listening that is probably not achieving their dreams and an average salary and frustrated and miserable, you don't achieve your dreams in any world, never mind this one, without some form of commitment that might require you not to be there at 9 o'clock on some nights, might require you not to be there Saturday and Sunday. I run a nearly $10 million business. Where am I at this Saturday? What am I doing?
You're at the game. I mean, you're at the game. You're with your fam.
Where am I at on Saturday? At 3 o'clock.
Oh, you're at the pub.
At 3 o'clock on Saturday? Think again. I'm doing a fucking webinar for 200 people on Saturday at 3 o'clock. Team, we might need a little upgrade on what's going on in this building. 3 o'clock on Saturday, I'm running a webinar for fucking 200 people in this office at this seat. On Sunday, where am I at 3 o'clock? Webinar for 200 people in this office, in this seat. I'm not too big, and I will never be too big to give up weekends. It doesn't exist. It doesn't get there. There is no such thing as a magical fantasy lifestyle that you all think you're just going to clock off, make your money, and go home, Tim Ferriss style, 4 hours a week. A couple of people achieve that lifestyle. Not very, very many. Now, I love the book, by the way, because it completely changed my thinking, and it is worth a read. But the reality of it, zero existence. If you plan on a terrific life, you will deal with shit. You will deal with staff. You will deal with hassle. You will deal with guilt. You will deal with parents who judge you. You will deal with family who judge you. You will deal with friends who judge you. Most of you are going to have to walk away from all of the friends that you've got. You won't like that, but most of you are going to have to walk. It'll be a passage of time that you're going to have to walk away from some of them. 9 out of 10 of them. One will stay. 9 out of 10 of them you'll have to walk away from because their habits and their standards and their way of living are absolutely counterintuitive to the life. And this guy, I know for a fact that the pressure's coming from the wife and the pressure's probably coming from the wife's husband, the wife's parents. Just general rule, right, as it happens. Fucking deal with it, dude, right? Again, grow up, man up, right? And if it's a female running a business, the pressure nearly always comes from the mother-in-law as to why is she at the work on a weekend? Why is she not home mothering? Why is she not home at 3 o'clock picking all the kids up in the schoolyard like all the other mothers? Why is she still at the office at 6 or 7 o'clock? Why is she at the office? Because she's building a fucking business. That's why she's at the office. To support a terrific life for the kids that she's got, to show the kids how to achieve a terrific life. Not just sit there and fucking give them a textbook and tell them to read it, showing them how to build a terrific life. And that's the bit that for me has always been about, for the last 11, 12 years with Harry and now all of my kids, I have a choice every minute of every day. They'll watch everything I do. They won't listen to everything I say, by the way, and all of you parents know this. They'll listen to 80% of it will be, they won't even hear it. If I'm lucky, 20%. If I'm lucky, 20%. But they will watch what I do. So when I'm at work on a weekend and I'm reminding them that this is why I do it. You want this house, kids? You want to go to Disney? You want that holiday? You want that big lake house in Michigan that we've just booked, in North Carolina that we've just booked in a few weeks? Like, money don't fucking grow on trees, right? Daddy has to go get this shit. But more importantly, Daddy's going to do something that he absolutely loves. And that's what I'm going to encourage every single one of my kids to do. Not chase millions. Go do something that we can find that you're passionate about, and encourage you to do that. Because chances are there is, in this day and age in 2026, there is almost nothing that you're passionate about that we can't spin out to be a very, very successful business with the right commercial skill sets. Wasn't true in the 80s and the 90s, but there is nothing on earth. You could become a millionaire from opening fucking Lego in your house on a morning. There is nothing that my kids couldn't spin out to be a commercial enterprise that they are passionate about today, as long as they have the right commercial savviness, the marketing and the sales. It is why I'm not worried about school. It's why I have no interest in them going to college unless they want to. It's why I have no interest in them being physios or any other thing that just is 20, 30 years out of date as to the value it brings to their life versus what they're actually going to get paid and how they can live. Those games, look, those numbers don't work anymore for people. So in essence, how do I balance being an entrepreneur with a family life? I've decided once the family came along that I am better to show them how to live than tell them how to live. I decided when they came along that I have no interest in the guilt that somebody in the outside of my immediate family might want to place upon me. Zero, none, nada, zip. And none of them have any say whatsoever in how I raise that family and what I do with my life. And I made that very, very clear. Nobody from other than inside of my home, those 7 people inside of it, have anything that they will ever contribute to how I live, how I play, how I work, how I do what I do. None. And I think anybody... Doesn't mean I don't love them. Let me just get that clear. Doesn't mean I don't love them. It just means that there won't be any guilt passed to me that will ever change my decision making. I think if you're letting any outside influence affect your decisions to be an entrepreneur, you will fail. And this will be so painful and so difficult, and it will piss you off for the next 10 or 15, 20 years. And if you think that you're going to grow and show your kids how to live a terrific life by telling them what to do, when you have an amazing opportunity to show them what to do, through achieving your dreams and your goals and your business hopes and your quality of life dreams, that is a much better conversation to sit down with your kids and go, here's how I did it, son. Here's how I dealt with the guilt. Here's how I dealt with the mistakes. Here's how I dealt with things I got wrong. Here's what that really means. Here's the shit that people are going to throw at you that means absolutely nothing. Nothing. It's utterly irrelevant. How you're able to have those conversations with your kids is 10 times better as a result of business ownership and pursued growth personally through business ownership. Significantly better conversations as a result of going, okay, let's sit down and watch Netflix together at fucking 5 o'clock every single night. Or, oh, what else are we going to do on a weekend? Well, I know, let's watch TikTok, or let's play on this stupid thing, or let's go and do the thing that we've done every weekend for the last fucking however long that none of us are brave enough to go, this doesn't fucking work for us as a family anymore. So, as always, exactly the same as the conversation that we've just had, leadership. Lead yourself. Get certain on what you want. Get certain on who you're for, why you're for it, what you want. Everybody else except your immediate family is an absolute distraction to it. And I don't care who that offends. Every single person that has an input in your family is not warranted, is not worthy of it. You can love them and you can respect them. And if you go ask them for advice, cool. That's different to them pushing it on you. Have some self-respect and don't let any of that come into your house or life. I've never met an entrepreneur that has enjoyed the journey and has been successful who has let the opinions of other people get in the way of how they make decisions and how they spend their time. Just be conscious. Just be conscious. Don't be too bullish and too hot-headed that you give up all the time with the kids and every moment of the day gets spent on the business. There'll be some regrets there. But I suspect for most of you, it's the other way around right now. That actually it's the guilt being forced upon you by other people right now that is getting in the way of you achieving a few more hopes and goals and dreams because of your business. Staff included, and the pressure that they're putting on you to behave a certain way because of the political bullshit climate that we live in today and live a certain way that might not be congruent with how you want to live. The best news for everybody listening to this, and I would tell all of my kids, there's literally nothing in this day and age that you can say is wrong. Nothing. There's nothing that you can do that is wrong anymore. save for murder, probably. Other than that, somebody will love you for you. Whatever your political opinion, whatever your view on the world, whatever your view on life, 59% of people agree with you and 51% disagree with you. Or 49% of people disagree and 51% agree. And that's the world that we live in. Whereas maybe 20, 30 years ago, everyone used to think, if I say this thing, all these people are not going to like me. That doesn't exist anymore. Bad Bunny can't even come on at the Super Bowl without the entire internet melting down in some kind of 51-49 view of it. That is life. And it's liberating for us all, because the 51 who don't like you, who gives a fuck? There's 49 who do, right? And that's all I need in life. If I've got more friends than what's on this hand, I've got a big ego. And I don't need everybody in the town to work for me. I need 10, right? There's 10 people in your town with the same view of life and political affiliation or whatever else you need it to be. And even customers. I don't give a shit whether you're in California, New York, Florida, whatever side of it. 49, 51 is your customers. Who cares? Better to be true to yourself and how you want to live than worry about some random people who might not agree with your view of the world. Why would you want to even build a successful business? You're not going to do it. Because even if you get the money, it's going to come at the expense of who you are. And it's that bit that pisses most business owners off at the other end. Oh, look, I've got lots of money, but I always felt I had to sacrifice a piece of myself to get there. And I was a fake and a fraud, and I pretended all day, every day at work, because that's not what I believed in. That's real success in business and life. There's my answer. How did that get it? What was the guy's name again?
I didn't see. You seen it on your end.
And by the way, just to clear that up, I will be with my kids on Saturday morning. I chose to put the webinar on at 3 o'clock on purpose so I could spend between 8 and 1 with my kids at basketball. You've got to get so successful that people go when you tell them to go, not when it's convenient for them. When it's convenient for Paul, the webinar starts at 3 o'clock because basketball ends at 1. That's it. Sunday morning, I spend it with Natalie and the younger kids, the babies that play things that we like to go to on a Sunday morning. They usually end around about 12:30, 1 o'clock. The training starts at 3. Paul comes online at his convenience. That's how it should be for all of you. Egwa, there you go. Done.
Egwa.
Yeah. Right, we're going to wrap it up. I have another interview to do soon, so I'm going to have to shoot. But hopefully that landed for some of you or many of you today. I think we could call that a grow a set. We should call that podcast Grow a Set of Balls, basically. Stop trying to be everything to everybody. Stop trying to be nice. Stop trying to be liked. Stop trying to be everybody's friend. That's not what is in the job description of a successful CEO. And equally in the home. Turn to your partner tonight and have a conversation about what life do they want. If you want that life, I need to work more than 9 to 5. It's just not going to, or I close the business, I go get a job, and we accept that this is what we've got. But it will come at a ceiling and an inflation-based pay rise life. If you want the wild jumps that are available in business ownership, accept that occasionally you have to do and make wild commitments that other people don't. That's what I mean by earn the right to live in the big house. Earn the right to live in a house with a pool. Earn the right to have 2 homes. Earn the right to have 3 cars. Earn the right to have as many things as you want, by the way, that this life will give you if you work at it. If you don't, it won't. And the final bit, don't let anybody influence any decisions that you're making internally. It's about you, your wife and your husband, you, your wife and your kids, your husband, your kids, whatever. That's when you close that door at night, that's all that matters. Everybody else, you can love them and you can ask them for advice if they have done what you're trying to do. Not if they haven't. Don't even bother to ask them. There is nothing that you're going to get other than an opinion of what they might do. You go find somebody who has been successful, who does lead a terrific life as a business owner and has got lots of kids that they've figured out how to do both. Go spend more time with those people. And as I keep saying to you, the Planet Paul community exists. We're not just a podcast. We're not just a book. I'm not just an author. I bring people together from all over the world who are at different steps and different parts of the journey so that we can all learn from each other. Some of the people at my events, there's an event on in my office tomorrow for 25 people. Some of these people will have been with me for 9 years. Started at 100 grand, now running multi-million-dollar clinics. And equally, there's a guy in the room tomorrow who's on $150,000 a year. And the girl at 2 million will be helping the guy at 1.5 million to grow faster. That's what the Planet Paul community has always and forever been about. That's what makes us special, and that's what I believe makes us different from any other community. I have committed ferociously from day one, including moving my family to America, to put events on to bring you guys together, because there is no other way to be successful than to be around people who are having the level of success that you want. When you get to rooms and seminars and halls, and you get to the bar and you get to the breakfast table and you're in the elevator or you're in the gym, you start a friendship with somebody, and you start talking about the fucking Facebook ads or whatever. All of a sudden, 3 months later, you're starting to realize how they live life and what quality of life they've got as a result of the decisions that they've made. Anybody trying to run this business on their own, oh my goodness, why? You must just love torture, is all I can tell you. So please understand what we're about. It's always been about this, that essentially you want to be successful. Don't go ask your parents for advice on business if they haven't run a very successful business. And don't even go ask for advice. Well, if they have run a business, go talk to them. Don't go ask miserable people for advice on your relationship. Don't go and ask somebody who hasn't got a great financial track record for where to put money, right? Because they're the loudest people to talk to you about what crypto is going to do. The ones who've lost the fucking money with their bad credits. They're always the one quick to tell you about what to do with it. Go and find people who are successful. If they're telling you that you're on the right track, or go for it. If they're telling you that you're on the wrong track, listen to them. Anybody that's at a level above you knows what shit you're going to go through. They have no reason whatsoever other than to help you up. They know what struggle you're going to go through. Anybody that's playing at a level below you, the only thing that they have is to keep you where they are, where you're already at. Because it exposes what they're doing in life and how uncomfortable they are at the fact that they're not making progress. It is as old as time that that's what's going on. It's just a bit difficult to keep reminding of yourself, because this love thing, this love that they profess to have, and this kind of 20-year relationship you've got, it's pretty powerful. But that's what's keeping 99.9% of the world stuck. There you go. Done. Grow a set of balls. We call that the We'll have some reference to that on the podcast description. Anyway, thanks for listening. I'm going to go. We'll be back. We'll probably do Friday. I think we do Friday this week. So check us out on Friday. We'll be back with another Coffee with Goughy. If you want your question asked live, Instagram, at the Paul Gough. Submit a question. My team will pick it. Just tell us if you want it to be anonymous. We're happy to do that. But I hope you've enjoyed the show and that you got your money's worth. So we'll leave it there. Join me on Saturday, the webinar live training, 3 o'clock Saturday and Sunday for the live training. I'm in Liverpool at the end of the month. Get in touch if you are in England and you want to come and see me in England. The tour continues to Los Angeles, May the 1st, 2nd and 3rd for the Cash Pay Summit, the first ever, and the inaugural Cashies. We are about to hit 100 tickets sold for that. We got 200, so we're nearly halfway there. So get in touch very quickly if you want to come to those and be part of the Planet Paul Global in-person community. Do you value it enough to get on a plane? I said it to you earlier, the magic. Everyone who missed me in my house today thanks me for doing it. I'll leave you with that. Enjoy. See you soon.